I know. Just have to figure out what I'm doing. Well, hello, Mike and Gary, and everyone else. As you can see, we are doing a Lose XL LXLC 60 Baitcaster today. No, there's a lot of other people live today, so I'll try to make this as quick as I can. Hey, Bug Man, thanks for coming in. This is another one of Sharina's reels. She's having a problem with the drag on it, so may have to order new drag washers for it. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Oh, there's my lovely wife, Serena's in the house, literally, because she's upstairs. There we go. That's better. Take care of my bad habit, then I'll turn that camera back on. And as usual, we do have the schematic. Bank Fishing Adventures, welcome. But I have noticed going over this schematic that not everything is labeled correctly. So when you get your schematics, just kind of go over everything and make sure everything is right. Because I've noticed a few mistakes in this. Like 41 is supposed to be a thumb button. See where they got 41. It's hard to read this upside down. No. Yeah, 41 is here. That's labeled as a thumb button. But that's actually, thumb button is number 40. That should be called the yoke, but they don't have that in. I don't know how well you can see it, but there are, I think, 6 springs in here. Got 3 here on the yoke, 2 here on the thumb button. You got 1 over here on your bait clicker pawl. So some of these diagrams aren't labeled properly. So yeah, pretty much, Gary, that's what it's going to be for now. Because right now I got the pontoon parked in Serena's honey hole. She's not happy about it. Yeah, we now have a pontoon honey hole. I guess you wanted to get that out there. Hey, Grace, how you doing, JR? Thanks for coming in. And I went ahead and got some actual fishing reel oil and some cow's drag grease. No, Grace family fishing, they didn't tear it up, but I do have some stuff stolen off of it. I had a Minn Kota anchor made on there. Somebody stole that. I'm sure I'll find other stuff wrong once I get time to go out there and mess with it. 'Cause I've got to do a little bit of work to it. Because the reason it was where it was at is it wouldn't shift into either gear. I figured out why. But in that process, I laid parts up on top of the flywheel. And you know how we do. We forget we put parts there. Go start it. All that stuff slings off. So, and the part I need is no longer available, so I have to find a used or make one. Lance McCoo, thanks for coming in. Yeah, Gray's family fishing people do suck. But fortunately, at CatCon last weekend, we met a lot of great people. Got a bunch of stickers. Might go over them later. But I know a lot of other people are live, so I don't want to take up everybody's time. So we'll turn his cam back on and let's get started. We've got our diagram, we've got our reel, we've got our oils, we've got our tools. Screwdriver doubles as a pointer. Let's see, where do we want to begin? I guess we'll start here with the handle. Always got to take the handle off. Oh, I don't have my magnetic tray. Where'd I put that? Unlike Abu Garcia, handle nut on this luge is 11 millimeter and not a 10. This is pretty good reel. And don't forget the E-clip, because you can get the handle off without taking that off, but it will mess stuff up. You'll bend it, then it won't be near as secure as it should be. Be careful taking these off because they like to fly everywhere. So there we have that. Probably ought to have something over this because this gray mat makes it hard to see everything. Then you got your tension washer. What do they actually call that? Number 46. Handle spring washer. Then take off your star drag. Then you got your drag spring washers underneath. They can go three different ways, but just kind of remember which way you took them off, which way they were stacked when you took them off, because it adjusts your tension. Take off the spool tension cap. That doesn't have anything in it that is supposed to be, because we are missing a rubber washer, metal washer. So that could be part of the problem that True is having with this, because those aren't there. Yet nothing in there. So that, oh, well, they fell out. They are there. They just fell out. So put your rubber washer back in the cap, get it nice and flat, get your stainless steel one back in. Then I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. but there's a little spring clip in there. And it will like to fly out as well. So be careful taking that out. Using a hook here. Where you can get up under it. And it's just a little spring clip. But you don't want to lose that either. And then we can take these off. Crown nuts, crown screws. I should have got a wire. I do have a wire screwdriver. I agree with you, backyard carp. And we have our right side plate off. And you can see the brake system. It's just got a two pin brake. You've got plastic washer. And even better pointer. You got a little plastic. Really can't see that, can you? Yeah, there we go. Plastic. And you got a weight back here. Little brass weight. And these will come off. So make sure you don't lose those. Try to put everything in order as you take it out. Then you got your spool. Go ahead and take the left side plate off. And according to the diagram, all these little Phillips screws are the same because they don't differentiate on what they are. They're just all called a screw. So hopefully they're all the same size. But if you lay them out in an order, it's easier to put them back in. And we're missing a little blue spacer. I don't know where that could be. And then you still have your line guide, your line guide pawl. Your whirring gear has a small E-clip on it. So make sure you don't lose that when you take it apart. It's also got a little washer. What is it? This one has, well, it has 3 washers. You get 3 little washers here. And get them separate. They are different sizes. I don't know that it matters which way they go back in. I'm just going to stack them back the way I took them off. Hopefully I don't lose that little one. And take your line guide off. Your line protector. And we have a bearing here on the worm gear. And it looks like it's in pretty good shape. We'll start with the easy side. Do what? All right. Now I don't have my Q-tips either. I forgot to grab those. You know, in this particular reel, you've got a brass drive gear for your clicker and your worm gear. So also got a little E-clip there. And so again, be careful taking those off. They like to fly. But it does spin pretty good just for, so I wonder if it has a bearing in there. There's that E-clip. Then we should be able to take our gear off. Huh? No bearing. Would have been nice to see a bearing there. But as you can see, there's no bearing in there. And there's your little paw for your bait clicker. It just moves up and down. Got a little spring there that holds tension on it. But I don't know if we really need to take that off. I mean, I can. And because you've got a regular looking spring here, and you've got another little spring. Let's see if we can get in. Another little spring here. Can you guys see that little wire spring? Well, I know it, Annette. No, Rustic, thanks for coming in. Chucky joined us as well. Well, I guess I can take that off. Might as well. Now I'm going to go over here on this other side. And there we have this spring off. Maybe. There. Here we got that little spring. Lift off this little wire spring. That doesn't seem to want to come off. There we go. Here's that little wire spring that I was talking about. See if I can get a different background on it. make it easier to see. That'll focus. There we go. And here's your bait clicker pawl. Got another E-clip. And what do they call this part? Part number 12. Huh. Oh, they're calling it a pawl washer, but I don't know. I don't know if that's actually what it's called or not. But I think that's another one of those that are wrong. Get your E-clip off. And we can take off that. And we've got another one of those little washers under here, or excuse me, spring clip. If I can get it out. So I'm going to assume that's going to be the bearing retainer clip. Also got an O-ring here on your spool tension adjuster. See if we can get that bearing to come out. Well, bearing came out rather easily. We got a bearing on each end. Then we'll grab a Q-tip. And Serena was nice enough to go get for me. Go ahead and get all this old grease out. We've got all these little parts, get any excess grease. Since we're putting new grease on. Welcome, Chrissy Brown. Thanks for coming in. All right, guys, who remembers how to put this together? No, it looks like on the TV I've lost video. There it's back. And we've got that. We'll go ahead and put our bearing back in. Make sure it's seated well. Then look for the bearing clip I just lost. There it is. Well, I'll definitely look into that, Lance. Try out the Lucas Oil Products fishing reel oil. Go ahead and put some oil on this bearing. You gotta squeeze that kind of hard to get anything to come out of it. Just because I'm just using this and the drops are small. I'll go ahead and put a drop on each side. And on your bait clicker, there is a little washer on it as well, except I dropped it. But I found it. And it does go in one way. I get her paw put back on, which I don't want to do yet. I don't think. No, no, I don't. Because if I do that, I can't get this other piece back in that they're calling a washer. No, I should have got my other grease as well, because I don't know if this can be used for what I'm doing, but well, we're going to do that. We'll use this cow's to put on everything else as well, since I didn't grab my other grease. Just a little bit on the back there. Doesn't have to be a real heavy coat. Get our location stud put back in since it fell out. And get our E-clip put back on so we don't have to sit here and hold this all day. There we go, nice and easy. Now I can put the paw on for the bait clicker. Get all that put back in. That we will have to hold till we get that spring put back on. Get it put back up, get it in place. Find our little spring over here. Hopefully it goes on easier than it came off. Welcome, Brad. Thanks for coming in. It looks like this is going to be a pain to put on as well as take off. When you put these back in, try not to stretch any of the springs. There we go. I got that on. Now just get it lifted up, get this other one underneath. Everything moved in. Put our other spring back on. Because the spring I just put on, I don't know if you can see it very well. Doesn't look like it, but it has a little clip here. See there under the pointer. And that's what holds your other spring, holds one end of your spring. Then clip your other side over here. Make sure everything's back where it's supposed to be because that fell off. Off there. Go. Get this put back under. Hold everything tightly because it will shift around on you while you're trying to put everything back together. And just shift it again. we go. Now everything's held in place. Button slips up and down like it should. Clean your worm gear. I had a little brush out here somewhere. There it is. Try to clean out any debris in your worm gear. While I've got it out and it's a little bit easier to access, I'll add a drop or two of real oil in there. Lube that bearing. That Q-tip, clean out the inside of the worm gear cover. And if you'll notice, the worm gear is different on each side because we're flush on this side. You got grooves on this side. So it only goes in the one way. Take a look at our cage here. Get any excess grease and dirt off of it. And on the right side, for the worm gear cover, there is a little bushing that didn't come out. So that's what fits into those grooves to help keep everything aligned. Oh, I forgot to put our worm gear drive back in. One of those things I would probably forget if I hadn't just seen it. So worm gear drive. Make sure you get all the lint and everything off. And there is a little washer that goes underneath it. Oh, no, that goes on top. Now, let me double check. Well, it doesn't show that washer in the diagram. But I would assume that it goes underneath to keep it from rubbing. That's where I'm going to put it until I know otherwise. Put her E-clip back on. Don't want to forget that. Got that back in. And normally, I forget the line guide itself when I put the worm gear back in. So let's see if I can remember it this time. Now let's put back together. Get that in there. Get her line guide on. Clean out that groove first. Guys, this is normally what I forget. Took a reel apart one day and forgot this 3 or 4 times. And had to take it apart because I kept forgetting to put this back on. If we can get everything lined up and get it in one shot today. Hey, Kelly, thanks for coming in. Why isn't that working? It should just nod right on in there. Oh, that could be why. Got that bushing upside down. That's why it wasn't going in like it should. There we go. Now remember, we had 3 little washers on this, 3 spacers. And they're trying to be a pain to pick up. Then we have our other little E-clip that tried to get away. So remember, have your little magnetic tray or some kind of tray, because this was sitting over, but it got picked up with something else and moved. All right, guys, got it first try. Don't have to take this back apart again. I'm going to take it out 3 times today. Now I get, oh, there are 3 spacers. The other one came off with the case. I'm wondering why there's only 2. But those spacers are there. Get everything lined up back with where they go. See, that's how that one came off. It just fell off. Now, if this is like an Abu, your Laser XL will go parallel with your real foot. Be easier to get everything lined back up that way if it does. And that's the way it works, guys. Just line up your real foot and name your reel. This side is done. Put these screws back in. And if I forgot anything that you guys have noticed, let me know. That way I don't have to go all the way through this and find out at the end I got to tear it all the way back apart. All right, we have Ernie Brown in here as well. Sorry, guys, I'm not able to pay attention to chat a lot. But I guess if Christy's here, Ernie's here. They're good people. Met them at CatCon last weekend. Yes, guys, I could have used a shorter screwdriver, but this just the one I happen to have out. And you guys let me forget to grease the bearings in here, the gears. So we'll just hit that with a little bit, because that will go ahead and spread it out as you work it. You've got a brass spool gear and a plastic bait clicker gear. And currently I've got that engaged. Got the cap on too tight. There we go. Now it's fitting down in there like it should. And I'm not going to put the brakes on until I'm closer to putting the other side back together. And now here's the fun part that everybody dislikes. The right side of the case. See if we can't get our anti-reverse sleeve to come out. And our anti-reverse bearing. There's the sleeve that doesn't want to come out. There we go. We got the sleeve out. And our anti-reverse bearing, 6 little roller bearings inside it. Let's see, does our bearing on this side come out this side? Yes, it does. There's our other bearing for our spool. Got the 2 clutch pack screws here. There are 3 springs according to the diagram underneath this. So there will be pressure. So hold it good and tight as you're taking these screws out. That way nothing flies and gets lost. Because that just sprung up. Alright guys, here's those 3 springs in the diagram. Let me get this over here a little bit better. And you got 2 springs here for your thumb button. Huh. Well, I just seen this comment. Sharina said, I hope it works better after this, but see, what did she say? If it doesn't, I'll just get another one. Another one. Well, might work better if I had a pie. As you can see, the rest of the right cover, there's really nothing on there other than the gasket you have for your spool tension knob. Find my Q-tip here. Might add a little bit of oil on that just to help keep it in better shape. I don't know if it'll help, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. So if those dry out, you get water and everything in there. And pull off our shafts here and our drag stack. Go ahead and run a Q-tip down this. Pull it out the other side, and that's all cleaned out on the inside. Let's see what we got for drag. We've got our top drag washer. It looks like these are Teflon drag washers. I don't know where you can see that. But I think I'll order some of the Carbon Tex. Can you guys see the discoloration here? If we can get that up. We got discoloration here. So that kind of says that the drag has been overheated. That could be why she's having problems with the drag. If we can get that out of there. Because I was doing some research today And this looks like it might be one of those that companies that glue in the drag washers so you can't lube them or whatnot. Make them hard to replace. And I don't know how well this is going to be easy to be seen. But on the bottom side, your washer is flush with your gear. On the top side, there's a little bit of a gap. You can see down here. That's so your top drag washer will fit in there evenly. And I don't know why they do it on the bottom differently. But the bottom, you have a couple of washers as well. So since we got this all cleaned up, we can put this all back together. Got a clutch disc, you got your washer, you got your other metal washer that provides space there. Then you put on your main gear. It's a little tension there, so you got to snap it back on. Put your top gear back, metal disc back on. Then we have our drive gear, cog gear. Pinion gear, as they call it. Go ahead and try to clean out all that. Make sure there's no debris. Then your yoke will just slide right off. As you can see, it's a lot of old dirty grease in there. Grab your handy dandy little Q-tip. Clean out all that. You can see all that stuff that was in there. Get cleaned out. Then you are left with your thumb button. And there's really no need. Well, that's really in there. Huh, those springs do a good job. Since there's no real need to take those off, because there's nothing under it that we got to get to, we'll just leave that on. Where did we put our yoke? Throw our yoke back on. I think I put that on upside down though. Yes, I did. Let me check the fitment here. Yes, I had it upside down. Get our pinion gear back in. Throw a little bit of grease on there. Get our springs back in place. Now these springs have little grooves that they fit into. So their location is pretty easy to remember. Light our drive back on. Get our pinion gear back in the right way. That always helps. Get everything moved over so it all meshes up. There we go. On grease a little bit. So you don't need a lot because it will dispense itself as it turns. Your right side case. Get everything wiggled back into place. Find your screws. Grab the right screwdriver. Drop your screwdriver. Then excuse yourself because you're going to go check on the dog. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Now we got little Frankie taken care of. He's back in the house. Where was we? We was right here. Go ahead and put our spool bearing back in. Make sure it's seated. Throw a couple of drops of oil on it. One little point is nice. Precision control of your oil. Get our little spring clip back in. Make sure you don't keep it. Make sure you keep it covered so it doesn't fly. It doesn't want to always go in. So keep a thumb on it. And we got that back in. We can go ahead and put our cap back on so we don't lose any of that. Get our little roller bearing cleaned out. Grab a fresh Q-tip. Get that cleaned. and it rolls around on a little spacer sleeve. It's your anti-reverse. Good thing about this is it only goes one way. And as you can see, a chrome side over here, and you've got plastic showing on this side, so you know which way it goes in. Don't forget your little springs here, tensions, springs for your drag tension. Get them on there. They only go on, well, they can go on 3 different ways, depends on how you want to stack them. I always tend to put them back on the way they came off. Get a little spacer sleeve in there. Get him to push down. There we go. Might have to use just a little bit of force. You don't want to use a lot of force. Then we can get our star drag back on. Drag knob. Don't want to cross thread it. There we go. Now let's not forget, we got to put our centrifugal brake shoes back on. Remember, there's a little brass, little piece of plastic, one on each side. Sometimes you can get them both to go on at the same time, like so. Just go ahead and drop her back in. And then make sure they're pushed up on there. It can make it difficult to get everything put together otherwise. Then you got a locating knob. Well, I don't know if you'd call it a knob, but you got a locator and you got a little hole here where that goes. Make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Nope, haven't forgotten anything to this point. That'd be a first. There we go. Get our crown screws tightened back up. Oh, did Chucky get an Ancient Mariner reel? I'd like to try one of those, so somebody please leave a review on them. Because I do believe Dieter Melhorn uses one. There we go, everything's turning smoothly. Now, clean up our level wine pawl, worm gear pawl. Grab a little Q-tip here because grease and dirt likes to get in here. We can get both sides. Check it for wear. This one's looking worn, so may have to get one of these soon. There's a whole bunch of dirt there that didn't come off with the Q-tip. Get him drop back into place. Kind of wiggle it around till it seats in there. Get our cap put back on. Where's my little screwdriver there? Get it snug. Don't forget your tension spring there for your handle. Put your handle back on. Don't forget your E-clip. Remember, they like to fly, so keep a good grip on it. Where's our nut? There it is. Oh, I didn't know John Euler used Ancient Mariners. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but you don't know. Just need to snug this up. If you get a point on that nut lined up with that hole, your keeper goes on. And it flies across the floor because you didn't get a good grip. Yeah, but if you line a point up with your screw hole, this will go on the first time every time to get your screw back in. There you go. Make sure everything's all snugged up and tight. Yep, that one wasn't tight. Check the other side. Make sure everything's all nice and where it needs to be. Don't over tighten, but don't under tighten. And crown screws, they are thumb adjustable, but as you can see, they don't always stay tight. You know, I like to use oil in the worm gear instead of grease because I feel that grease will trap more dirt than oil will. Now you can set your spool tension. Try to make it even on each side, and like I have here, because I don't have this cap tightened down. But with this spool being about the same color as the cage, you can see, maybe, try to get an even amount of this, get the spool centered as best you can. And of course your spool won't spin if you don't have your drag set. And there you have it, guys. Wipe off any excess grease and dirt you got on it while you was doing it. And she's back together. Any questions, fellas? Sharina said that she's had a problem with the drag, but now that it's clean, and it's got the type of drag washers that you can't lube. Looks like she's got plenty of drag now. Runs smoothly. So now it looks like Sharina will not be getting a new reel. Because hers works. It's all together. And I didn't have to take it apart because I forgot something this time. Polar bear. She won't be. Let me wash my hands right quick and I'll tell you why. You don't get down for this, honey? Huh? Let's see, which camera do I want to use? Okay, now back to polar bear. Let me readjust this camera. But guys, here is why Sharina will not be happy. Because she wants a new reel. Because she has this pretty new rod that doesn't have a reel yet. Don't know if you can read that. It focus. That's the Mondo. What's it say? The Mondo Patriot. 7-foot medium power. Very nice rod. So until she gets one of these, gets a reel for this, she's not going to be happy. Oh yeah, I like that handle too. It's one of the reasons this was her birthday present. They had them at CatCon, but I'd already ordered this. And it came, see, was that CatCon Saturday? We got this Monday. So, yeah, guys, she's not going to be happy till she gets a reel for this. And I'm wanting to find a good reel that can kind of match the colors for it. But I'm not quite sure what reel to get. I say it's a medium fast action. It's medium power. It can take a 10 to 50 pound line weight and lure weight of 2 to 8 ounces. Well, Lance will have to look for that. But I'm not quite sure what, I know what reel she had in mind at CatCon. No. So yes, guys, she will be getting a new reel. Not only for that, but we also have to get her a new reel for her Mad Catz Gold Rush. Yeah, it's pretty rod as well. We got this CatCon. And of course, this would be the other way. Yeah, it's got a 2 to 60 pound line weight rating, 2 to 16 ounce lure rating, medium heavy action. So she's got quite a few rods that she needs reels for. So it's not like she's not going to be getting a new one. It would be nice if Thomas could get some new ones. Because she's also going to be getting another rod and reel. Because backyard carp, we decided to put carp special on the Whisker Seeker catfish and carp rod. That way, because she's got, well, it's just a pain, isn't it? She's got the catfish special and carp special, both on the Luke Nichols model rods. So now once she gets her striper special, I'm sure it'll go with Luke Nichols rod as well. She needs new reels. I need new reels. I need new rods. So guess who's going to get the new reels before I get new rods and reels? I guess I can shut down this other one. I don't need a camera on both of them. There we go. That's better. Well, of course she's not going to argue. But you notice, fellas, she's not saying, no, Thomas, no. Get you a new rod. Get you a new reel. But I love my wife, so she'll get them. And as always, guys, if you don't have a Laughing Cat sticker, just send me an email and we'll get some out to you. And if you don't have a Sharena's Keeping It Real sticker, send her an email and we'll get some out to you. Polar Bear, the chat. No, I won't get to use them. She's kind of stingy with her rod and reels. I haven't used any of them yet. In the last 2.5 years that she's been getting new rods and reels. No, I've got to get them out of a snag for her. I've got to load them in the truck. Got to get them out of the truck. Got to clean them. But no, I don't get to use them. No, that doesn't happen. Because she spools them herself. She ties her own rigs, gets them all ready. She names them. No, Chucky, she's not getting the Abu Garcia Beast. The only difference between that and 6500 is the outer covers. So for that, I can get her 6500 and I can order the covers for it. So there's really no point in getting the Beast when all I have to do is just get the covers. Yes, Sharina, you will see the Beast. It won't be the one you want. It'll be my version of a beast. That's pretty much it, JR. I get to clean them. That's about it. But it's her gear, you know. I've got plenty of my own. Knowing that she won't get it. Trust me. She tried really hard to get it at CatCon. Did she walk away with it? No, she didn't. My wife is my best friend, but I don't love her that much. But see, you may not have heard all the other stuff, Serena, but you know there's other stuff that was said. No, Chucky, that ain't going to happen. That won't happen. So, guys, I'm trying to decide which reel to do next. Because honestly, I'm running out of reels. I was going to do my pen the other week, but I realized I couldn't find my handle wrench. This is different than just regular wrench. I've got one somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I have one on the way. So if I get the handle wrench in time, I might do the pen. Or I might do low profile. The Zebco Rhino RBC 200 that I cannot find a schematic for. Or what else do I have left? Here's another one of Serena's reels. Another low profile. Cast King Spartacus. That she hasn't named. She hasn't named this one. It's Cast King Spartacus that she believe won in Mexicats giveaway. And she hasn't named it, guys. I don't know what she's doing with it, but she hasn't named it. It is on a, let's see what do we got this on. I don't know what brand of rod is this. I don't remember. I think it's a Zebco. No, it's a Berkeley. A Berkeley Cherrywood HT rod. Yeah, because it's got Berkeley down here under the hook that I didn't see. But it's a 7-foot medium casting. Lure weight of 1/4 to 3/4 of an ounce. Line weight rating of 8 to 17 pounds. I believe we have 10-pound on this one. But I've made adjustments to it. It casts really nice now, but she hasn't tried it since then. It's a nice little reel. Well, it's quite a bit of line. Says it's got a 6.3 to 1 gear ratio and is rated for 100 yards, a 12-pound line. So I don't know what to do next, guys. But it's looking like it's going to be the Zebco Rhino. Oh, looks like might have other options there. Hey, Dale Hayslip, thanks for coming in. No backyard carp. I got that one. I sent it back, and I just waiting for him to get it. For some reason, the mail is going really slow. Because we sent it off last Friday, and I spoke with him today, and he still hasn't received it. So we'll have to get the tracking number, find out what's going on with it. I really expected him to have it back by now. Well, Chucky, she'll have a good reel for it. May not be the one she wants, but it'll be a good one. Let's see here. Hey, Mike Urban, send them and he can work on them or meet me and I can get them to him. Well, looks like I'll be doing some of Mike Urban's reels, clean them up. And what did you say you had? 55 or 6,000? And a Cat Max reel. Well, I've never touched a Cat Max, so that will be interesting. I know Steve Douglas uses them a lot. Oh, we can change that, honey. You don't have to be spoiled. But I do want to get her a nice reel for the Mondo Cat rod because it is a really nice rod. Can't wait for her to get something to put on there to use it with. I'd really like to see how well they perform. What I understand, they don't make the rod until you order it. So it took us 2 weeks to get it. No polar bear, I haven't done a PC find yet. Don't own one. Haven't used any. Bought two what, Mike? Oh, two Cat Maxes? Oh, okay, Steve Douglas. Uh, yeah, I'd like to try one of those out. I mean, we've all seen the fish he catches. And, huh? Oh, I guess she's talking to her son because she wasn't talking to me. But he catches some big fish on those, so they got to be a good reel. I think the Weekend Angler has a video on how to take out the bait clicker on it. Well, somebody, I can't remember who. So if it wasn't the Weekend Angler, sorry, Josh, thought it was you. And for whoever did it, nope, sorry. I watched it. I just don't remember who did it. So, Chad, do you have a PC phone reel? I haven't used them. Don't know anybody that's got one. So I really haven't heard a whole lot other than the reviews online. No, I guess I put everybody to sleep. Nobody's chatting. Yeah, there's a lot of people live today. Yeah, I got a notification that Kevin went live. And with everybody else that's live today, Polar Bear, I'll check into the Chaos 50 and see what I can find out about it. But I definitely need to see if I can get a new gear for the luge reel that I just did today. See if we can't upgrade those drag washers. Because I don't like that they're glued into the drive gear. Makes it hard to replace. Well, Polar Bear, a lot of people don't get the Abu Garcia because of the price. And that's why I like casting reels. I mean, they're really good reel. They outcast my Abu Garcias. I mean, I'm still a fan of Abu Garcias, but you know, I like the Cast King Rovers. They're a really good reel. Man, and you don't need an expensive reel to go fishing. You know, if spinning reel is what you can afford, hey, go for it. They work great. I believe somebody in chat has caught a alligator gar using one of the Walmart reels. I don't know if backyard carp is still in here or not. But anyway, guys, this has been the Lose Laser XL 60 good reel. It says it's got a carbon fiber drag system, but that looked more like Teflon to me. Says it has an adjustable centrifugal braking system, but they didn't look adjustable to me. You either got them or not. Lance, I've got the Cast King 80. I'm not a big fan of it, but I could just be using it for something that's not its intended purpose. Because I find them difficult to cast. But the Rover 60, love those. That's a great reel. But guys, with everybody else that's live and it's actually fishing today, I guess we'll just go ahead and end this one. It's been great. I'm glad you all showed up to watch. And I'll figure out what reel I'm going to do next time. But it's looking like the Zupco Rhino. So thank you all for being here today, taking time out of your Sunday. And we'll see you next time on the next reel. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you, Chrissy.